Global warming is the most daunting issue faced by humans to date. Global temperatures have been rising for over a century, speeding up in the last few years, and are now the highest on record. This has had consequences such as the melting of Arctic sea ice, prolonged heat waves, and rising sea levels. These are predicted to cause problems such as mass immigration, war, natural disaster, and food and water shortages. A shockingly underpublicised fact is that one of the main contributors to climate change is the human consumption of meat products. Greenhouse gas emissions caused by the meat industry's production are estimated to account for around 18% of the global total. This is more than the emissions produced by all transport worldwide. Greenhouse gases such as methane and nitrous oxide contribute to global warming by trapping heat in the atmosphere. Livestock production is the largest global source of methane and nitrous oxide. For example, a single cow can belch up to 500 litres of methane every day. And whilst carbon dioxide is typically painted as the bad boy of greenhouse gases, methane is roughly 30 times more potent as a heat-trapping gas. It has been estimated that greenhouse gas emissions caused by meat eaters are around 50% higher than those of vegetarians. This statistic alone demonstrates the damaging nature of a meat-based diet. Animal agriculture is the largest consumer of the world's resources. For example, it places a huge strain on the world's water supply. Globally, the meat industry uses about 70% of the planet's accessible freshwater. It uses large quantities to irrigate crops used to feed livestock and to process the meat itself. The standard diet of a person living in the United States requires 4,200 gallons of water per day. This, compared to the 300 gallons a day used in a vegetarian diet, is gargantuan. Another comparison, it takes more than 2,400 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of meat, and only 25 gallons of water to grow 1 pound of wheat grain. To put this in context, you can save more water by choosing not to eat a pound of meat than you can by not showering for 6 months. Eating meat contributes to the depletion of numerous resources. For example, 70% of former forests in the Amazon have been turned over to grazing for beef production. These forests are needed to absorb carbon dioxide. A single hamburger uses 7 pounds of grain, 600 gallons of water, 75 square feet of land, and 1,036 British thermal units, which is enough energy to power a microwave for 18 minutes. It also releases 14 pounds of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Currently, 50 billion burgers are eaten every year. This is particularly worrying as the meat industry shows no signs of slowing down, with more than 6 million animals being killed for food every hour. Meat is as popular as ever, with its negative impact rarely being discussed. And the demand is ever growing. It's predicted to have increased 70% by 2050. One of the most effective ways of helping the environment is to stop eating meat. It helps to protect our resources and reduce harmful emissions. The effect the meat industry has on our world is devastating, and the pace at which climate change is developing must act as a severe warning. The meat industry needs to downsize, and for that to happen, our demand for meat must rapidly reduce. It's estimated that if everyone stopped eating meat, emissions would drop by 55% by 2050. A global change to a vegetarian diet is the world's best chance for averting climate change.